All is One Reflections. I am Dr. Deva Diallo. You might also know me as Priestess Oshunfunke. I am the founder of the Orisha Hoodoo Institute. The title of this talk is While the Devil Whips His Wife. If you're from the Southern United States, so you probably have heard this phrase. People say the devil is whipping his wife when the sun is shining and the rain is falling. Those are also called sun showers. Long before modern computers, our Yoruba ancestors had identified the binary nature of existence. If there is light, there has to be darkness. One cannot exist without the other. Both things are true at the same time. We live in a world of seemingly opposite conditions. We experience day and night, joy and sorrow, rest and activity, rain and sunshine. Today's reflection explores a sun shower as a living lesson about the binary nature of existence. The Southern saying, the devil is whipping his wife, reminds us that multiple realities can be present at the same time. And wisdom comes when we learn to recognize that and not just recognize it, but experience it with ease. We don't have to get frazzled because two things are happening together, or we discover that two things are true, that somebody can love you and also hurt you. Multiple realities exist. People all over God's creation have recognized duality as something noteworthy. Many cultures have an explanation for this moment. In Japan, sun showers are referred to as the fox's wedding because fox spirits are thought to be clever and evasive, and they conduct their business out of sight of human beings. So when the sun is shining and rain is falling, indigenous Japanese people would say that the foxes are having a wedding. They're doing something, and we can't quite perceive what they're doing, but we know that it's more going on than what meets the eye. In South Africa, they call this same moment the monkey moments. Monkeys are clever. Monkeys do things that sometimes we wouldn't expect them to do, or we may not even understand why they're doing what they're doing. Monkeys are associated with mischief and surprise and the unexpected. This expression acknowledges that something unusual is happening at that time. In the Southern United States, where our hoodoo tradition emerges from, African American people will often say the devil is whipping his wife. This recognizes that there's a strange coexistence of rain and sunshine occurring together. This reflects the understanding that life often contains seemingly opposite conditions that share the same moment. So different cultures across the globe have had this experience. And each of the examples that I gave attempts to explain the same unusual phenomena. That alone reminds us that we have a shared experience, that what happens to you has or could possibly happen to me in a way that may be transformative for you, and it may go over my head. It may be a lesson that I have to experience over and over again, like we as human beings who continue to experience sun showers. It's not like it happened once and we heard about it or people told us about it. We've all seen it. It happens all the time as a reminder from the mind of God that multiple things can be true at once. Indigenous people all refer to a state when there is more happening than meets the eye, when there are conditions that don't necessarily match, but we know that what is happening is for our greater good. In this instance, the weather becomes a reminder that there is more happening than what appears on the surface. Frequently, life contains multiple truths, multiple lessons, and multiple realities that happen and descend upon us like the rain when the sun is shining at the same time. Human beings have always recognized that there's something unusual about a sky that contains both sun and rain. At that point, the sky is teaching us a lesson. Life contains experiences that may appear contradictory, and that really is life. We experience joy and grief. Going back to our hoodoo heritage. How many of you have heard that people die in threes? How many of you have heard that if someone dies, then a new baby is going to be born? Or the flip side of that, when we have a bunch of babies being born into a family at one time, we fear that some of our elders may become ancestors, right? There's an understanding that joy and grief often come together. Growth and discomfort is another example. Growing pains. If any of you have teenagers, preteens, they grow so quickly sometimes, and they have pains with their knees, pains in the back, pain in the neck, because their bones are stretching. And so as they are growing and becoming, they may experience pain and discomfort. The same may be true for you in your spiritual walk. On the other side of that discomfort will be advancement and evolution and becoming. So when the devil is whipping his wife, when the sun is shining and the rain is falling, it's a reminder that reality is more complex than the categories that we create for it, than the limited boxes that we choose to assign to things. The sky holds more than one thing at a time. It holds sunshine, rain, clouds, wind. There's a lot of things happening, and it depends on your perspective which one you focus in on. Are you focusing on the clouds, the things that prevent you from seeing the limitless nature that is creation? Are you focused on those difficulties, those moments of uncertainty, which are actually part of figuring things out? If you just knew everything, there would be no point in walking this walk, this human walk, this experience that we all agreed to when we incarnated. Do the clouds prevent you from remembering that you came here to experience, that you came here to grow and to be challenged and to stretch yourself, to see the sun in spite of the fact that there may be a cloud? The nature of clouds is temporary, right? It's just steam. It's not going to stay there. No cloud remains. Movement and change is the only constant in our experience. How ironic, change is the only constant. When you're talking about duality or the binary nature of something, you must remember that one does not cancel out the other. Rather, neither can exist without the other. There would be no distinction between hot and cold if there weren't a binary experience of fire, because that's what we're talking about. So in some way, fire and ice represent the same thing. One of the challenges of human consciousness is our tendency to divide our experiences into categories, into boxes. We want to know what is good, what's bad. Are we winning or are we losing? Is God blessing me or am I being punished or challenged? Nature deals with itself differently. The same season can contain both blessings and challenges, blessings and lessons. A relationship can contain love and difficulty. The same prayer can contain moments of waiting and moments of movement. And it can be raining outside while the sun is shining, while the devil whips his wife. Melanated Metaphysics principle number 1 is there is but one mind at work in the universe, and that is the mind of God. There's a divine intelligence that is expressing itself throughout creation at all times. I am an expression of the Most High God. You are an expression of the Most High God. The flowers are an expression of the Most High God. Your babies are an expression of that same beautiful mind that is God. The same intelligence produces the sun and the rain, blessings and challenges, growth and restriction. It all comes from the same source. The same intelligence produces storms and harvests, droughts and floods, mountains and pebbles. Nature does not experience division the same way human beings do. Creation functions as a unified whole. All things happen together at the same time. There is but one big moment. As human beings, we try to divide that moment up. We try to make sense of it by calling it seasons and days, years, decades, and centuries. But it's one big moment, hurling from the center of the universe through time and space. The same explosion that is the Big Bang is the same fire that causes your heart to beat, the same fire that causes a volcano to erupt. It's just one big moment. And what we are witnessing at any given time is what we are meant to experience for our growth and our expansion. Romans chapter 8, verse 28 says, "And we know that all things work together for the good of those who love God and to those who are called according to his purpose." All things is what the scripture said. Every single thing happens for the good of those who love the Lord. Things don't happen to you, they happen for you. And it's up to you to remember that, to orient yourself and reorient yourself, to remember and reconstruct and reaffirm that everything that is happening is meant for you to become the best version of yourself, for yourself and those that you are meant to serve. This includes pleasant things, difficult things, the things that we expect and the things that surprise us, the things that are visible to us and the things that are running under the surface. Sun showers reveal and remind us that divine intelligence is operating even when the circumstances appear mixed. Melanated metaphysics principle number 2 is the understanding of our divine inheritance. That means that we emerge from divine intelligence and we carry with us the capacity to grow through every experience. Every experience is intended to make us better. And if you are a student of metaphysics, then you know that everything that is happening to you is happening for the purpose to reconnect you with the God within, the source of all things. Rain has a purpose. It nourishes seeds. It replenishes rivers. It restores the earth. Human beings often become wiser because of challenges. We become more compassionate, more patient, more discerning, and more grateful. James chapter 1, verse 2 through 4 says, "My brothers, count it all in joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience." James teaches us that trials produce patience, endurance, and spiritual maturity. Rain has a purpose. It has a purpose in nature, and the downpour has a purpose in your life as well. Challenges serve a purpose in our spiritual development. The sun shower reminds us that growth and grace occupy the same moment. We always remember the rain. We're inclined to remember how uncomfortable it was, how it messed up my outfit, how I had to drive slow and I ended up being late. But Spirit encourages you to remember that the sun is always shining, even when the rain is pouring. It's not raining everywhere at the same time, and it's never nighttime on the whole planet Earth. The sun is always shining somewhere, and rain is always falling somewhere. It's about your awareness and your perception and what you decide to focus on. And there are always clouds in the sky. I'm going to quote the great American griot, Nas, who said, "I need a new nigga for this dark cloud to follow, because while it's over me, it's too dark to see tomorrow." That scripture alerts us and reminds us that it's about our perception. If only the clouds that we are aware of would move out of our vision, then we'd be able to think about tomorrow. We'd be able to think about what's next. But because we tend to stay focused on our trials and on our difficulty, we act as if tomorrow won't come. We act as if God hasn't brought us out of difficulty before. Melanated metaphysics principle number 3 is thought is creative. The same sun shower can be expressed differently for different people. You create your experience through your thoughts. through your understanding, your awareness, and your acceptance of whatever perceived blessing or difficulty you are experiencing. You author your reality. One person may complain about it raining. Another person may marvel at the beauty of the rain. A farmer may be grateful for the rain. A child may be mystified and excited at the wonder of it all. Where does the water come from? When is it going to stop? Who's making it rain? The Bible says, be as a child, open to receive understanding, blessings, guidance, and ultimately the protection of God, because all things are happening for you. Be as a child. It doesn't matter how the farmer sees it or how the child sees it or how the person rushing to work sees the rain. The weather remains the same. At the end of the day, water is falling from the sky, but each of those people have a different experience of the same blessing, water falling from the sky. And for my Oshun priests, we call that kalukushe. It's a blessing, right? Always a blessing, as are all things a blessing. Philippians chapter 4, verse 8 says, whatsoever things are true, honest, pure, lovely, and of good rapport, and if there be any praise, think on these things. Paul is encouraging believers to focus on the things that are true, the things that are noble, the things that give us advancement and encouragement, things that are lovely, and things that help us have good rapport and good relations with one another, because we know that is what we came here for. Focus on those things. Don't make your focus difficulty, delay, and dis-ease. You have a choice on what you choose to focus on and what you choose to experience. What is it that you're paying attention to? What have you decided to take from those moments where there are contradictory energies at work? Are you focusing on the rain? Are you focusing on the sunlight? Or are you focusing on the larger picture that contains both? Are you grateful for both? Are you grateful for all of it? Because all is one. It's all coming from the same source. It all has the same purpose: your growth, your provision, your protection, your expansion, your return to source. Spiritual maturity develops when we learn to see the whole picture. Melanated Metaphysics principle number 5 is the principle that spiritual authority develops over time. Babies are born dying. Every breath they draw brings them closer to the day that they will ultimately rejoin the source. We're always growing and developing. Wisdom grows through practice. Knowledge becomes authority when it is applied. Everyone appreciates the symbolism of the sun shining. The sunlight is comforting, but the rain, we have a mixed bag with the rain. We know that plants need rain, and we know that human beings and other living things need water, but we don't necessarily want it falling and hitting us in the face. We don't want it impeding our journey. We don't want it affecting the speed at which we can do things, but it's all a blessing. Lessons emerge when life becomes difficult. When we experience challenges and yet we wake up the next morning, we learn that joy comes in the morning. Are you able to recognize blessings when you face challenges? Are you able to really say all is a blessing and mean it? Do you really believe that all things happen to the good of those who love the Lord? Do you believe that you are provided for and protected at all times, no matter what? Do you actually believe that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger? Do you know that the only way to get through it is to go through it? Authority develops over time. Proverbs chapter 24, verse 10 says, if you faint in the day of trouble, then your strength is small. Strength is revealed during adversity. Character is revealed through pressure. You can take a lump of coal, and if you apply enough pressure and you wait long enough, you will get a diamond. Diamonds are the result of pressure and time. Your character, your best self, your most divine self is the result of pressure and time. Melanated Metaphysics, principle number 5, is that metaphysics must be applied. Every spiritual teaching eventually arrives at application. You have to do it. You must pray in order for a prayer to be made. You must do a reading in order to read a situation. You have to do it in order for it to be done. We must ask ourselves as practitioners of metaphysics and African spirituality, how will you live differently because of what you know? How will you be changed by knowledge, wisdom, and understanding? That is divine light. How will you be changed by that? How will you allow the sun shower to be your classroom? What will you take from this metaphor and this understanding? This lesson is available to anyone who is willing to observe it and accept it. You can't be a person who only laments at the difficulty and only offers praise when things are going well. You must always be praying. Don't fall to your knees because bad things are happening in your life. And don't only evangelize when things are going great. You must always be praying. You must always be in a state of gratitude. You must always recognize that it is happening for your greater good. Nature constantly teaches us spiritual truths. It's up to us to pay attention. Matthew chapter 7, verse 24 says, "Therefore, whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will look at him as a man who has built his house on a rock." So if you listen to these things, if you listen to the wisdom that is provided through all of these things that you study, you could be doing any other thing with your life right now, but you are here to get closer to God, to get closer to yourself. So all of these things that you learn, the understanding of who the Orisha are and the place that they occupy in your mind and your body and in this natural world, the metaphysical principles that you are exposed to and the unraveling effect that they have on patterns and destructive behaviors. What will you do with all of that information? Understanding becomes transformation when it is put into practice. Now let's connect this to the pillars of Oshun, healing. Rain is always associated with cleansing and renewal. It replenishes rivers, it nourishes plants, and it restores the parched earth. But the sun shower presents healing because water and light work together for our benefit. Water and light are coming together. You could say Shango and Oshun are working together. Are you connecting spiritual forces? Are you working with water and metal together? Are you doing alchemy? Are you working with fire and water, seemingly opposing forces and bringing them together to create transformation? Fire transforms running water into steam. Steam is useful. There are moments in your life where you need more steam. You need to be able to understand how opposing spiritual forces can come together to become magic in your worlds and in your walk. Oshun's power of transformation. When we talk about a sun shower, the atmosphere itself is transforming. Conditions are rapidly changing, so much so that it's jarring to us. It's a moment that we have to sit back and say, wow, it's raining and the sun is shining. How odd. The sky is moving between states, just like we are always moving between states. We're moving from one state to another, from ignorance to understanding, from pain to gratitude, from poverty to plenty. We all experience these moments in our life. Sometimes we resist these moments of change because they're uncomfortable. But remember, the only way to get through it is to go through it. What doesn't kill you will absolutely make you stronger. Change can be subtle, change can be dramatic, but change is always beautiful. Let's talk about Oshun's power of grace. Grace appears throughout the image of the sun shower. The rain is falling, the sunlight is beaming. Neither of those things have to be earned. We don't pray to God for moments of the sun and the rain together. It happens in divine timing. It happens when the moment is right. We need the reminder that all things are true and all things come from the mind of God and all things are working together for our good. Grace often appears in moments we don't expect, in ways we don't expect. Oshun is still willing to cleanse and renew the earth at the height of sunlight. Doesn't have to be dark, doesn't have to be cloudy, doesn't have to be in the middle of the night. The rain falls when it's needed, where it's needed, when God ordains for that to happen. And lastly, fertility and abundance. Rain is one of nature's primary symbols of abundance. Plants needed, people needed, life depends on fresh water. The combination of sunlight and water creates conditions for growth. Seeds germinate through a partnership of earth, water, and sunlight. Growth requires nourishment from multiple sources. So the Southern saying of the devil is whipping his wife tells us a story. It tells us that life continues to unfold in mysterious and miraculous ways. It reminds us that nature is complex and that blessings and difficulty have the same source. Psalm 30, verse 5 says, "For his anger is but a moment, but his favor is life. Weeping may endure through the night, but joy comes in the morning." Joy and sorrow are an inextricable part of the human experience. The sun shower reminds us that the sky and that our human experience is large enough to contain both. A life well lived will have moments of blessing and moments of challenges, moments of joy and moments of pain, moments of confusion and moments of absolute clarity. All is a blessing. I am Dr. David Diallo. Thank you for joining me.
Nobody talks about you, then you are nobody. Then you are nobody. Remember.